Hey guys, what's up? It's Jess, and I'm sitting here at Seattle Children's Hospital Ophthalmology Clinic. As you can see from the eyeball anatomical poster behind me, I just had my eyes dilated, so I really can't see anything up close. Like, do they look freaky? I bet they do. But like everything really close to me is blurry. Far away is fine. But I am participating in a research study, and today is my first like kind of official appointment. I had an appointment about a month ago, which is just the screening visit, and that is just to ensure that you meet all the qualifications for the research study, that they take blood and they do some other tests, just to make sure of what like your baseline is. And today I will be taking the first dose of a brand new medication. It doesn't even have a name yet. It's called VX440, and I'll be taking that in combination with some other drugs, or I could potentially be on a placebo, which is just nothing. But that's the way research studies work. And this is the very first time that this drug is going to be tested in humans. So, I have to be here pretty much all day. We are going to be monitoring me for any sort of side effects. They're going to be taking a lot of blood repeatedly. They're going to be doing EKGs, breathing tests, like all kinds of things, just to make sure that I don't have any like immediate problems with the medication after I take it. And then as long as I do fine with that, I will go home with medication. I will be taking it every day for about a month, and I'll be coming back here to Children's about every 2 weeks to check in. And even after I stop the medication, I'm still going to have a couple of checkups just to make sure everything is still going good. And this medication has the potential to stop the progression of my CF, or at least slow it down. The idea is that it will make the defective protein in my body that causes my CF work just well enough that it can do what it needs to do. So that's a very, very extremely shortened down explanation of what this stuff hopefully will do. And so yeah, I'll be taking I'll be taking more footage throughout the day so you can just kind of see how this all works. It's really exciting stuff. So yeah, come along with me on this fun journey. For now, I'm just going to sit in this dimly lit room and maybe turn on an audiobook or something because I can't see. So yeah, the reason they're doing an eye exam is some of the rats that they tested this stuff in developed cataracts. So they want to just get a baseline eye exam on me, and then I'll have another one toward the end of the study just to see if there's been any changes in my eyes, but I'm really not worried about it. It should be fine. So yeah, that's about it for now, and I'll see you guys in a little while after I'm done with my eyeballs. Bye. Hey, Twisted friends, it's your girl Jess, and following up on all my study visit stuff, it is now the next day. Mostly yesterday was just like a lot of waiting around in between tests, and then like while tests were going on, it wasn't like the greatest time to really be filming and trying to explain things to you at the same time. So mostly there was like a lot of blood draws, which is why I had the IV in my hand, and then 2 lung function tests, one before I took the medication and one after, just to make sure that like it wasn't causing any problems with my ability to breathe. And then, you know, oh yeah, like EKGs, before and after. And yeah, just mostly just like a lot of waiting around because like the blood draws had to be done at certain times after I had taken the medication. And so, you know, I played games on my phone, I watched TV, I, you know, read a little bit, you know, just pretty boring stuff mostly, but it was a very, very long day. Starting off with the eye exam, they do that because I don't remember if I explained this yesterday or not, but some of the rats in the rat studies developed cataracts, and so they just want to make sure that my eyes are okay, and try to determine if that's going to be a problem for people taking this medication. So let me show you what I got here. I got 3 of these packs and then 3 of these packs, and this is my medication. It looks like this on the inside. Yellow is morning and blue is night. Same with this one. And what this study is it's a combination of 3 different medications, potentially. So the combinations are ivacaftor, which has already been approved by the FDA for use in people, tezacaftor, which has not been approved yet, but since it has a name, it is being submitted to the FDA for approval. Drug companies don't give medications a name until they're ready to take them to the FDA to seek approval for them. So that's a good sign that they liked what they saw in the human trials with it. And then the experimental medication is, for right now, called VX440. So what I have here in my cards is, I believe it's these ones, the white ones, that if I'm not on the placebo, these are the tezacaftor. The blue ones are potentially the VX440, the new experimental drug that we're looking at. And then these ones are ivacaftor. And so morning and night, I take 6 pills. I take 1 of these and all 5 of these. And the way this study is working, these could all be placebo, or they could all be the actual medications, or since they're testing 2 different dosage strengths, one of these white ones and one of these blue ones may be placebo, which means I would be on the lower dose. But all of these ones are either actual drug or just placebo. So that's the way it's working. This is a completely blind study. I don't have any clue what I'm on. My doctor doesn't know what I'm on. Even the pharmacist who gives me the stuff doesn't know what I'm on. The only people who know what I'm actually on is the drug company, which is Vertex. And kind of like I explained very, very shortly in my intro yesterday, what they saw in Petri dishes in the lab at Vertex was that this combination of medications was able to improve the function of my defective protein that causes my CF just enough for it to do its job and allow the proper flow of salt in and out of my cells to have that correct balance. And if this works, it has the potential to vastly improve my CF, maybe even halt the progress of it, which would be simply amazing. And so I'm very excited to be participating in this study. Of course, it could go nowhere. If they see a lot of side effects in people, they might not continue to go, they might not decide to do a phase 2 trial. If they like what they see, though, they'll move on to a phase 2, which generally involves being, for half the time you'd be on the actual medication and for half the time you'd be on placebo, so that they could see the difference in the same person. And then phase 3 is everybody's on the actual drug. And if all that goes well, and then it will go to the FDA for approval. But at this point, that is still years down the line. They're only enrolling 32 people in this study in all of the United States. I am the only one in the Seattle area, or even in Washington State, who is enrolled in this study. So that is crazy. There are a lot of CF patients in this area because we have 3 CF centers here. We have Seattle Children's, we have the University of Washington, and we have where I go, which is Mary Bridge and Tacoma General. And so I was extremely lucky to be able to get into this study, and like, to be the only one in this whole entire area is just crazy to me. But I happen to have the magic combination of what they were looking for. I have the right mutations. My lung functions are in the right range. My liver and kidneys are healthy. It's kind of like humbling to think that not only am I just one of 32 people who's doing this, I'm the only one in the whole state. That's really crazy. And I will be taking these medications for a month, and then I will be monitored for another month, have to go back in just for follow-up tests and things. And so, yeah, it's a very short study, but it's an important step. It is a big deal for a drug to even get to the stage where it's ready to be tried in humans. And I'm, very grateful for Vertex, because they are really the drug company that has done the most in the way of trying to correct the defective protein in CF patients and make it work the way it's supposed to. They've done the most as far as those types of drugs go. And so that's amazing. I want to personally thank Vertex. If I know a lot of this is like very medical jargon. Please, if I wasn't clear enough in some of my explanations for you guys, please, feel free to leave a question down below. I will be continuing to update as things go along, letting you know how I'm feeling, whether, my lung function improves, because that's the only test result that I'm really going to be able to see, I think. And yeah, just let you know how it goes, if I think I'm having any side effects, and just overall what I think about this whole thing. So yeah, it is very exciting, and I'm really happy to be doing this, not just for myself, but for other people out there in, CF land who has the particular combination of drugs that they think this will work, or combination of mutations that they think this will work for. And I'm very happy to keep you guys updated on everything that's going on. And so now to the story of how I almost passed out. So I had my IV in my hand yesterday, and I had a little bit of a hard time getting it in. I told him I didn't want it in my elbow because that is completely obnoxious. You can barely move your arm. And so, but the veins in your hands are smaller, so they can be a little bit trickier. So they missed the first one after they dug around a bit, and so my hand was already sore, but they got it in the second try. But it was also still a little bit sore from that one, because your veins have valves in them that are one way, so that blood doesn't like back up into your extremities. It just can keep flowing in one direction. And so mine, it was right near a valve, which can be painful. So so my hand was pretty sore. And as the nurse was going to take the IV out and like taking off the dressing and everything, it was just kind of like wiggling a little bit and, you know, pushing on the sore spots. And so she gets it out and I'm holding the gauze on there, and she had to run the last tube of blood to the lab really quick because it had to be on ice. And she wasn't gone more, just like a couple of minutes, and so I'm still sitting there holding the gauze on my hand, and she came back, and all of a sudden I was sitting in a chair, and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, I think I'm vaguling. And when you vagal, it's like you're passing out. And so like I kind of slid down in the chair so that like blood could have an easier time getting into my brain. I didn't actually pass out. I didn't even really come all that close. Like I didn't start seeing like black dots or like black coming over my vision or anything like that. I felt a little bit lightheaded and kind of had a cold, clammy sweat thing happening. So, I got to hang out at the hospital for another like half hour, 45 minutes, just to make sure that I was okay. They rechecked my blood pressure, several times. It was fine. They did another EKG, which was fine. I had a snack and drank some juice just to make sure that my blood sugar was up. And, you know, I really do not think it had anything to do with the medication. I think it was just, you know, having that painful IV in and then it just being wiggled around while it was coming out. Just, I think, stimulated just hit my vagal nerve the right way, to where my blood pressure dropped and I just started to pass out. If you want a better explanation of how the vagal nerve works, I can totally get that for you. Actually, there's a really great video that explains it. I'll link that below if you want to know how all that works. But yeah, but I was okay. I made it home fine, no big deal. I took my dose this morning and didn't get dizzy or anything like that. So I do think it was totally a result of the IV being painful and weird and not anything to do with the medication. So don't forget to subscribe, click my face over here, so that you don't miss any updates about this study and how things are going. And if you want to learn more about CF, I'll put a thing for my CF stuff playlist in here. And give this video a thumbs up if you are excited about this for me and for everyone else with CF. It's just great news, and questions down below, I'll be happy to answer them. So I love you guys. Bye.